Student loan nightmare for Gen X and baby boomers. McDonald's prices soar and fake orange juice. Today, I read an article on foxbusiness.com written by Gabriel Rigobudo titled Gen X Boomers Among Student Loan Borrowers Who Owe the Most Report. The author referenced Degree Choices, a higher education research group, as saying Gen X and a portion of baby boomers racked up on average of $44,331 in loan debt per capita, which is a quarter above the U.S. average. The author of this article went on to reference David Levy of Degree Choices, who said stagnant wages and competitive job markets make it difficult for recent graduates to pay off their loans quickly, leading to longer repayment periods and more accrued interest. Here are my thoughts. I'm going to start by saying we haven't seen anything yet. Right now, people have to make their student loan payments after about a 3-year pause. However, there is no penalty other than interest continuing to accrue if someone doesn't pay. This is because of Biden's onramp program. His onramp program ends on September 30th. After September 30th, people who don't pay can fall into delinquency and be reported to credit reporting agencies. They can also be charged late fees and eventually fall into default. I suspect we are going to start hearing about a lot of people who fall into delinquency and default after the election in November. It will take a while before all of this data starts coming out. Many consumers are struggling right now. In the news recently, executives from fast food restaurants and retailers have confirmed this. Many are not spending like they once were. If the economy gets worse, I think there will be a lot of people who can't afford to make their student loan payments. Many are already being crushed by inflation. Sure, Biden has what is called the SAVE plan, which can reduce or eliminate a student loan payment based on family size and income level. The amount owed does not go away though. If your family size or income level changes, the payment will resume or go up. I have to wonder, how many people who voted for Biden during the last election are going to change their vote this November because he did not forgive student loan debt for the masses? He has forgiven student loan debt for some borrowers, but not blanket student loan forgiveness for everyone. I'm sure this upsets a lot of voters. On the flip side of the coin, I'm sure there are other voters who are happy he hasn't forgiven student loans because they had to make personal sacrifices to pay off their loans, and they don't think it is fair that other people would get loans forgiven by the government. I can certainly understand the logic. I personally know people who had a lot of fun in college and took their sweet time completing their degrees. Many racked up a lot of student loan debt and never worked. Many went on fancy spring break trips every year. They went to every party they could find, and a lot of them skipped classes regularly. Some of these people still have a mountain of student loan debt. I worked at a factory for 2 years after high school to save up money for college, and I worked different jobs while completing all 3 of my degrees. I never went on a spring break trip, and I was often studying while some of the other people I knew were out late at parties. I personally don't think these people should get their student loans forgiven. They made choices, and they need to honor their obligation to pay back their debt. Now, I do feel bad for young people who studied hard and went into debt for a college education, and they graduated just to find out they can't find a job in their respective fields. Some young people thought a college degree would be the ticket to riches. Some are finding out that you need a degree in a field that is in demand, and you also need skills that companies want. Some people aren't even working in the field that they got a degree in because they can't find a job. Some are working dead-end jobs that you don't need a degree for and wondering how they are going to pay back their student loan debt. I am sure there are people who feel like the situation is hopeless, and for some, it might be. Some may have to find a different path forward. It's a tough world, especially if you don't have parents who can provide financial support or housing after college. Fortunately, some parents have more to offer than others. Some can provide free or reduced housing which is often much needed during this period of high inflation when even a small apartment is $2,000 per month or more in some cities. Tack on utilities, a car payment, car insurance, fuel, groceries, medical expenses, and a student loan payment, and it's simply not manageable for many young people. Entry-level wages just haven't kept pace with inflation in many cities, and I have no doubt some young people are left feeling defeated and frustrated. I'm curious if any of you know people like this. If so, tell me about it in the comment section below. So there's another problem for young people. Many who can't live paycheck to paycheck and are stuck at home with mom and dad are likely not in a position to afford McDonald's anymore. I read an article on Yahoo Finance written by Ethan Wolf Mann titled, "McDonald's Facts Draw Attention to Its Problems, Chart of the Week." According to the author, McDonald's found itself in the spotlight this week as a casualty of its own prices when news of a real $18 Big Mac meal sent social media into overdrive. The author shared a chart which provided some percentages. From May 2019 to April 2024, a quarter pounder with cheese increased in price 20%, a Big Mac 21%, an Egg McMuffin 23%, and a 10-piece McNugget 28%. Overall, food inflation increased 27.57%. Now here's what is interesting. Wages of non-supervisory workers, according to this chart, have increased 28%. I'm really curious if any of you have seen your wages increase by 28% since May of 2019. Maybe some of you have, but I doubt that is the case for a lot of hardworking Americans. Some people haven't seen their wages keep pace with inflation, and families often can't afford to dine out anymore unless they put the bill on a credit card with no chance of paying it off at the end of the billing cycle. This is the sad reality here in America in 2024. Some of you may not be able to wash down your Egg McMuffin with genuine orange juice in the future. Today, I read an article on foxbusiness.com written by Megan Henney titled, "Orange Juice Makers Consider Using Alternative Fruit as Prices Skyrocket." According to the author, a global shortage of oranges that sent prices soaring has prompted some orange juice manufacturers to consider turning to alternative fruits to make the breakfast staple. Apparently, companies have considered using mandarins because their trees are more resistant to the greening disease, which has impacted oranges. The greening disease impacts orange trees and causes fruit to partially turn green, misshapen, and bitter. There is no cure, and trees typically die within a few years of infection. In addition to the disease, extreme weather events in Brazil have also impacted output. Well, my friends, here are my thoughts. Former President Trump loved to talk about fake news. Now, we may have fake orange juice in the near future if companies start resorting to mandarins. Some of you might wonder, what's the difference between an orange and a mandarin? Oranges are larger and round, while mandarins are smaller and oblong. Oranges are more tart, while mandarins are sweeter. Oranges are richer in vitamin C, and mandarins have thinner skin and are easier to peel. Orange juice has gotten more expensive. I'm curious if any of you have noticed this at the store. If you have, tell me about it in the comment section below. Please keep in mind that everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video with your friends. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.